So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of The Truth Podcast. I'm your host, Neek Robinson. Thank you guys for tuning in today. And today I wanted to get a new friend of mine on. He is actually, are you from Des Moines, Brandon?
I grew up in Johnston.
Grew up in Johnston. Okay, so Brandon, this is the guy that I wanted to get on today. He is a little bit of an entrepreneur here in Des Moines, Iowa, so I wanted to get him on and have him spit his truth about everything that he's doing right now. But without further ado, my guest today is Mr. Brandon Roth. What's going on, man?
Nico, I can't thank you enough for having me on, man. I've been looking forward to this.
Absolutely. I appreciate you sacrificing your Thursday morning on this Valentine's Day today, and just coming out and drinking some coffee, having some good old Life Water. Shout out to Life Water. But,
absolutely.
But just going to have a little conversation and just kind of record it.
I got a nice easy morning, so this worked out.
Yeah.
I told you what I'm doing today, right?
So are you driving?
Yeah, I'm taking a 4.5-hour drive, surprising my grandma, and I'm going to take her out to dinner for Valentine's Day.
Where is she at?
Bloomington, Illinois, Central Illinois,
okay.
So it's a short trip out there, not too terrible.
Yeah, I guess it's not bad as Chicago. It's probably like an extra 2.
Yeah, it makes a difference, just a little bit extra time.
It gets to be a little long, those trips, man. I think I go to Minnesota pretty frequently, but that one kind of gets to be a little long sometimes. That one's only like 3.5 hours, but... Man, if you're like going there and back in like the same day, that gets to be a little hectic, but it's cool stuff, man. So Brandon, before we get on into everything today, just tell me, who is Brandon Roth today? How old are you? Kind of give the people that don't know you just a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Yeah, Brandon Roth here. 37 years old. Like I said, grew up in Johnston. Actually, still live in Johnston today. Right off of 86th Street there. So like you said, I'm a little bit of a serial entrepreneur. I'm glad that Dom was able to connect us, dude, because he's a real great guy, and he's a bright kid too. I see a lot of potential with both of you, and you guys are going places, so excited to link up. Doing all sorts of stuff over the years. I mean, when I was your age, I was selling mortgages. I was hitting up the phones, dude. I was hustling at your age. I was having to do cold calls where I was seeing if you were interested in working with me, and that was some great sales experience that led to many businesses up until now.
I think that the sales thing, I was introduced to that right out of high school. I worked for Cutco. I don't know if you know who that is.
Yeah, absolutely.
I sold kitchen knives for them.
For the record, they are the best knives you can buy.
Absolutely. But I sold them for a summer. And in like my first 10 days on the job, they had this thing called like a 10-day fast start. And so what you do is like in these 10 days, you try to sell as much product as possible. And they had this thing called like a 10K fast start. So that's where you sell $10,000 worth of Cutco in 10 days. And I actually completed that.
What's that, like 10 cents?
Bro, it was absolutely nuts. Like it was, I had like probably 30 or 40 appointments in like 10 days and sold $10,000 worth of product for them.
Like, bro, are you knocking doors?
No, so what they did was they have like the script, right? So basically like what you do is like you call up like all of your family members or whoever you got first off, and then you kind of just go on into it, and you basically like set up an appointment with them, do your sales pitch and like a little demonstration for them. And then if they want to buy something, then you write it up and you send it off. And then at the end of the appointment, basically what you had to do is you had to like ask them if they would recommend you to any one of their friends, because like basically I was just doing it for college credit and like trying to build my resume and everything. So it was a good little gig, and I think that it taught me a lot of stuff, like just about sales and just kind of expanding my entrepreneur spirit and everything. So it was very humbling, and I think that I did a very good job at it, and a lot of my friends still do it. Shout out to all the people at Cutco that I know, but
shout out to the hustlers out there.
Exactly. And I think that it just it made me want to push even further, like just on developing myself and everything else, because it was like that entire summer I feel like I was just working nonstop. But it was on my own schedule, which I really liked, but I wanted to just make some extra money, and That's the thing. So
yeah, well, the rate at which you were earning money, I'm sure, increased. And dude, it's all about the learning experience at that point, because in that scenario, you were learning on every transaction, whether you're getting a yes or a no.
Yeah, and it's like, the rejection thing was huge, because it was like, I was learning how to deal with the rejections, because we would have like somebody would say, I don't know, like I have this going on, and I'm like, I can work with your schedule. It's kind of like, if somebody's kind of hesitant on like getting you to just come over and do a demonstration, it's like, you can throw out all these little side things to say like, hey, I'm just doing this for college credit. If you really want to help me out, it would mean the world to me. But, and then it's like people would literally like shit on you basically and say like, no, I don't want to help you out with college, like yada yada yada. And it's like, that's cool, and then it's like I kind of gained like a different respect for myself and like for the others that are around me, because I understand that like not everybody has to help you, and that's a beautiful thing too. It's like not everybody in the world has to help you, and you kind of have to help yourself almost. So
well, it's a good thing for you to realize too quickly doing that stuff, is that you'll realize, and it's an unfortunate scenario, but you'll find that your friends and family are the first people that are going to doubt you in situations where you are trying to better yourself or succeed in things. And just like you're saying, you need to just keep your head up and keep moving forward, because you just can win these people over, or at least convince them later through your actions and making stuff happen.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that did teach me a lot, just as a person. As I think that it was like one of my like favorite jobs, just because of the atmosphere around like everybody that I was like working with, and then like all the people that I got to sit down with. Wish I would have started a podcast back then, because it was literally like I just enjoyed going over to people's houses and talking to them for an hour or so.
If you had had all those conversations recorded.
Exactly, it's kind of the same thing really. So maybe one day I'll have to link up with Cutco one day and just kind of do a podcast for him. But,
you're gonna have to reminisce.
Yeah, it's a good little gig though. But Brandon, getting into your story though, so you grew up in Johnston. How was that experience for you?
It was good. I grew up, pretty easy lifestyle as a kid for sure.
Was Johnston like just kind of developing when you're?
Oh, I'm not kidding. Okay, so like I said, I'm 37. I was 10 years old when we moved into Johnston. And I told my folks, at 10 years old, they moved us, they were building the house that we were moving into, and they took me there, and it was a hole in the ground, just digging the foundation. And I looked around, and I said, you moved us to the middle of nowhere. Because it was just woods and cornfields, and I couldn't see the vision, obviously that Johnston is in. I literally thought I was in the middle of nowhere.
That's so crazy, because like now it's like, it's a whole community, and they got a whole high school, and that's just crazy how much that like side of town and all these suburbs that are around Des Moines have kind of just grown.
I think what's more impressive to me is Ankeny.
I
can't believe
2 high schools now.
Oh well, Johnston just built a new one, so they've got 2.
They've got 2 now. Wow, that's insane.
Yeah, so Ankeny, they may have more. I just can't even keep track, to be honest with you. It's literally like a little Des Moines up there. So
it's insane, and they got like all these restaurants, like these huge food chains that are moving to Ankeny and not even coming to Des Moines. They just don't even bother anymore at this point. It's crazy. And then West Des Moines, I feel like, is just as big as Des Moines too. So it's insane. What was your experience like going to school there? Did they have a school there, or did you have to travel to?
Oh no, I mean, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Like as a kid, like I came from a bigger city, kind of like a Des Moines area.
Where were you born?
I was born in Central Illinois. That's where most of my family's at, so that's why I'm going back to see grandma there. But so I spent till I was 5 years old in Illinois, and then moved to Indiana till I was 10, and then 10 years old since then to here. So
how was that experience for you, like moving around like that? Like I guess you weren't really like in high school at that point, but
I think at a young age it was easier for me. But definitely at 10 years old it sucked for sure. I remember the day that my folks told me. I was like just getting ready for a baseball game or something. I don't know how they timed it terribly like that. But I remember not being happy about it. But no, easy transition at 10, I think.
Well, and I think that I'm a firm believer in like everything happens for a reason, so had you been over in Indiana or wherever, wouldn't have been able to meet me, Dom, or whoever else that you met in Des Moines. So
I'm on the same page, man, with everything happening for a reason.
Absolutely. So Brandon, talk to me about how long you've kind of been into the entrepreneurial scene. Like, what was kind of your first venture? If there's anything you want to talk about.
Yeah, it's actually pretty interesting because I don't think you know the backstory.
I don't.
All right, cool. Because, so like I said, I was working in the mortgage world when I was your age, and I was on commission, right? I was hustling, and like you, I made good money, right away. Exactly. I was making like $5 or $6 grand though, and so I bought a boat, I bought a Yukon, I bought a Harley. But I was doing it all on payments, bro. Like I was the payment king, and I wasn't understanding anything financially yet. I just knew that I had money, and people would loan me money because I had money. And so, I had a $300 car payment, $300 Harley payment, a couple $100 boat payment.
That's crazy.
So that being said, I got some toys after getting a little bit of cash in my pocket, and then I stopped working because I wanted to go have fun with my toys.
Yeah.
Right? I'm honest, that's what happened.
Yeah.
And so being on commission, it doesn't work out real well.
Yeah.
And so in the coming months, I wasn't making either any money or I wasn't making real good money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel that.
So things had to change, obviously, and I wanted to keep my toys, so I ended up looking for a full-time job somewhere else that would pay me like a base pay with a little bit of commission on the side. Well, I quickly realized that when I did that, I gave away all my freedom.
Yeah.
Okay. And now I don't mean to talk bad about having a job because everybody needs income, but salary is what an employer will give you to forget your dreams. That's their trade-off. They'll give you your salaries to forget about your dreams. And unfortunately, that's all too common today. And I saw it happening before my eyes because I'd never worked in a corporate atmosphere. I see all the people who were my age now, back when I was your age, that are burnout, 2 kids, 2 jobs, 2 dogs, not enough time, and just weren't real happy. And so I saw the writing on the wall right away, and I said, I'm doing something different, right? And so I started looking, I was like, all right, I'm going to start a cleaning business. I don't even remember how I started thinking about a commercial cleaning business. So I started doing a lot of research and putting numbers together and like what I would have to put in for product costs and my stuff, my inventory. And I stumbled across a pooper scooper, like a pooper scooper, like a chat group, or something like that.
Some Facebook group type.
It was this was earlier.
Yeah, like something kind of like that.
It was what am I trying? A forum.
Okay.
Yeah, a Pooper Scooper forum is what it was.
Gotcha.
And so I found this, and I'm like joking with my buddies. I'm like, hey, bro, check this out. These guys are making money scooping dog shit. Can you believe this? Like I was joking about it. And funny thing is, I had 2 dogs at home at the time. With the chick I was
dating. So it's like something that you were already familiar with.
Yeah, and like the more I'm joking with my buddies and talking about it, the more I keep looking back at this forum. I'm like, how much money are they making?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, how much does it cost to operate the business? They're scooping dog shit. Like, how much does it cost? And so I started doing numbers. And the more I started paying attention to that forum and like I started interacting with a few of the guys, asking questions, and the more it made sense for me just to start the damn thing.
Yeah.
And so what I did is I found a company in Kansas City called Stinkies, is what it was called.
Okay.
And they were charging the most out of any company that I could find. Right, because if I was going to get into business, where I sure as hell was going to want to make money if I was going to do it.
Absolutely.
So I found the guy that was charging the most, and I started looking at his stuff and mimicking things, but making it my own yet. And so I just blew into the industry here. I just literally in about 4 days I had a website up, I had business cards, and I started just networking with pet related businesses. Started with groomers, started getting my cards just to set them out at their desk when people drop their dog off, stuff like that. And then it just grew into word of mouth. I'm a pretty personable guy, and so I just ask my customers, hey, do you know anybody that's looking to have their dog shit scooped, that kind of thing.
Well, and I think that something like that, it's something that, dogs are always going to be taking shits, like regardless of where you're at.
Dude, anything in the pet world, gold mine.
Yeah, because it's like a lot of these jobs, though, I feel like they may be taken over by either the internet or, like robots of some sort, but if it's something personal like that, like people are always gonna have pets. Dogs are always gonna be shitting, so it's like somebody's gonna have to do it, and there's a lot of older people that have pets, dogs, whatever, or like younger people, and they're just like I just don't want to scoop my dog's shit. It's all over my backyard, whatever, and it's like, I'd rather call somebody over, because there's always going to be people like that that are a little bit lazier,
So. Oh, you haven't experienced yet, but it is a common argument between couples. Like, honey, did you scoop the shit? He's like, no. She's like, I've asked you to do that 3 times. You haven't done that yet? Yeah, I swear to God. Or in a situation like this where it snowed for the last 3 months, it all melts at once, and then there's 3 months of thawed out dog crap all over the yards. And some people literally don't even know what to do at that point because it's overwhelming for them. Like, so 2 of my biggest cleanups were over, like, you can picture a 55-gallon oil drum, kind of, like a big-ass thing, container. I took out the equivalent of 2 of those full of dog shit out of some yards in Beaver Dam.
Wow, that's crazy. Like, people just don't clean that shit up.
And we'll get to the robots later, but honestly, the pet world is a gold mine. So that pooper scooper deal led into, I reconnected with the vice president of that mortgage company that I was working with, and he had moved on to commercial real estate.
Okay.
And he asked me to come down to Kansas City and visit him. So I was like, what's up? Came down and visited him, and he took me to a foreclosed horse barn, a horse-like facility.
Okay.
It was 30,000 square feet. It had an 8,000 square foot indoor arena, and it was on 15 acres. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so it was in foreclosure, and they wanted $1 million for it. And my buddy was like, hey, I want you to tell me how to turn this into a boarding and daycare facility for dogs. And I was like, dude, you don't have any idea what you're doing. Because when I started my pooper scooper service, I quit my full-time job right away, and I managed a kennel in Clive to get my, just some money in my pocket till I gain clients.
But it's like you're learning little things about dogs and stuff too.
Well, and so I had some experience, and I said, Josh, you have no idea. You want 250 runs. Like, he wants to have places, 250 spots for dogs.
That's crazy.
And I had 11 in West Des Moines. And I said, bro, you have no clue what you're getting yourself into. He told me, and I will remember this forever, Nico. He said, I don't want you to tell me how to not do it. I just want you to tell me how to do it. Wow. So you just tell me what needs to be done, and I'm going to do it. Is what he was telling me.
That's crazy.
And I saw that, and I sat back. I said, okay.
Damn.
Sounds good. So we got $1 million loan from a bank. And 7 years later, we ended up selling it for just under $7 million.
Wow.
So, and I was just a small portion of the ownership in there. So I didn't come balling out on that project. But I came out smelling like roses, no doubt.
That's a good check.
Yeah,
man. That's a good check.
So that led on to some other things I've been doing. Actually, when that sold, I got into real estate because I was working some sales job I didn't really care for out in West Des Moines. And as soon as I got that check from selling that business, I was like, all right, I'm going to do what I want to do now.
Yeah.
So I got into real estate, and that's kind of led to foreign currency exchange trading, and I think that's how we've gotten connected.
Yep, absolutely.
So here we are.
Yeah. Man, it's crazy just kind of hearing everything about, like, the backstory with everything with you. That's nuts, man. And I think that it does, like, inspire a lot of people, like, that it's possible to do it. Because I feel like there's a market for absolutely everything out there. Like, you can, if you're passionate about something, you can be passionate about dog shit if you want to, but,
As far as inspiration, let me at least tell you this portion of that. It was called the Pet Ranch, was the name of that boarding facility.
Okay.
The coolest part of that is I never put any of my own cash.
Yeah.
So I gained the knowledge and experience through that managing that kennel over in Clive is where I was.
Yeah.
So I capitalized and monetized that experience by going to Josh and saying, hey, I can help you develop this. So I came on as more of a consultant, and I got paid in sweat equity. Wow. So I got a portion of my interest in the business just for kind of like working it off. Yeah. So even if you don't have money in your pocket, like I didn't have $30,000 in my pocket to invest when he wanted it. So I said, I can't do the cash, but I can do this.
Yeah.
And so he's like, all right, let's lock arms and go.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I think that, like, timing is everything, I feel like, and the relationships that you build with people are the biggest thing that you can ever do in life. Like, I've done podcasts here, like, 2 days in a row now, and, like, I've met 2 different people on 2 different days. So it was like one lady, like, wants me to speak at an event that she's throwing and everything because she liked how I was running my podcast and everything, and awesome. Like, was asking me a bunch of questions about it. But it's like, had I not been here at this time, it's like, that would have never happened, you know. So it's like those little relationships that you can kind of just establish. You never know where those things can take you. Like you were saying, isn't that was that guy that you ran the ranch with? Was it somebody that you were working with the real estate stuff? Is that what you said,
loans?
Right?
Yes, exactly, mortgage loans.
Yeah.
So when I started that, like it was like probably 4 years had passed since I stopped working for that company, and because we had stayed in touch, I think we just were connected through Facebook still or whatever. But I had made great connections at that time when we were working together, and you, like you said, cultivate those relationships and keep them working together.
Absolutely.
Like just even a little bit of attention to long distance friends, man. A text once in a while, a phone call goes a long way.
Exactly. It's crazy like how that works, man. And like, you know, if you just, like you said, if you just reach out with like a little text message saying like, hey, I'm thinking about you, like hope everything's good with you, like that one little thing somebody can remember forever. And like if they have like a multi-million-dollar company down the road, then it's like, this is the thing, I want to get him on because he's been rocking with me ever since like we were born or whatever the case is, you know.
And Nico, I got to give out a shout out to my friends too, because on the other side of that coin is that you got to be flexible with those friends that are wanting to hustle, that are trying to do stuff, because they're not going to be available for you when you want to hang out every time. They might be, you know, working when you want to hang out or go party or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So be patient with them and be encouraging to them too.
Yeah,
you know?
And I think that, like, you know, especially in the entrepreneur side of the world, I would say, like, that you have to be, like, open to this roller coaster ride. I feel like is the thing that I've kind of been learning is, like, you know, a lot of my friends, they also, like, ask me, like, hey, Nico, like, what are you doing? Like, I'm like, hey, bro, like, I'm trying to do this, that, or the third, you know, and I'm like, I got a lot of stuff going on in my head, and it's like when I'm working on something, I don't want to forget about it. So, you know, if I'm already in my zone and everything, like I'm just like, I want to finish this first, but we can go out after and, like, you know, give options to, like, still have, like, fun and leisure time, but also, like, be able to do my work and everything too. So
Yep. I think that in the past I've not had that balance to where I'm just like, I don't want to work, and I have let some of those relationships go. And that's what I've learned is to, you know, you definitely have that balance. And that's great.
Because I think that, like, you know, the relationships that you build are just as important as being a workhorse too. Like, I would consider myself, like, I'm constantly, like, doing something productive. But it's like, you know, I'm a very social being, so if I close myself out for too long to the rest of the world, I'm like, I feel a little bit off, so I want to, like, get out there and, like, network with people and just do what I can, because I feel like that's something that, you know, I've been blessed with from, like, my parents or whatever. Like, my mom is, like, super outgoing and everything, so I feel like that's something that I picked up from her, and I'm able to talk very easily to everybody and, you know, just kind of build these relationships with people I hardly know at all. So, you know, just learn to, like, keep a conversation going, you know?
Well, dude, that almost ties into kind of like what I'm doing today, to be honest with you. So, like I said, I got into real estate after we sold the business. And real estate's great. I mean, I've made some good money, but it's not my passion. So
are you still kind of in it?
Yeah. I just don't put any. I don't market it a whole lot. I've been helping friends and family out. That's about it.
Absolutely.
So that being said, is about a year ago, coming up on a year, maybe 10 months ago, I started studying foreign currency exchanges. So basically trading one foreign currency for another for profit. Okay?
Absolutely.
So this has intrigued me way back when I was doing the mortgages, when I found out about something called penny stocks, right? Well, I learned something about Forex, and it was just something that I'd heard about and didn't really research or anything like that. Well, I decided, since I've got some spare time, I got a little bit of a cushion as far as saving, so I can spend some time working on studying this. So I'm not kidding you, Nico. Like, I joined an academy, and an online academy to teach me how to do it, and I was learning, dude. Like, Dom, I'd have him over to my house. I'm like, check this out, dude. I'm drawing up trend lines and all these different crazy things on charts, right?
You guys are going nuts with that stuff.
It was a lot of fun. But here's the thing: is like, Nico, I'd make $1,000 in a day, and I'd be so happy. Like, yes, this is life changing, right? I'm going to do this tomorrow. Tomorrow I'd lose $1,100. And I'd be like, oh man, am I even going to continue this? You know what I'm saying? So on my own, it was easy to make money. It was easy to lose money. Okay, so I was about break even, but I had a ton of learning experience to that point. Well, that takes us up to about the 1st of December of last year. Someone introduced me to an artificial intelligence Forex trading bot, a robot. All right. And I was so skeptical. Like I've heard of people using it, and I've heard of people being very unsuccessful with it.
Yeah.
So I sat there and I watched for like 6 weeks, and I got into some of these groups, like chat groups that they're part of, and people kept posting results. You know, I'm making $20 a day in my sleep, $30 a day in my sleep, $15 a day in my sleep with each one. And some of these people had 5, 6. There's one guy with 100 of these softwares that he manages. Okay, so that I ended up jumping on board the first year because I couldn't take everybody making money but me.
Yeah,
right. Watching it. That's what happened. So essentially, they've got 2 products that are absolutely amazing. The first product is like pretty easy for most people to get into. It takes a $500 trading account, and it makes a profit. And now this is historically speaking, so I'm going to speak numbers. Yep. I can't tell you what it's going to do tomorrow, but I can tell you what it's done in the past for me, at least. Okay. So speaking of experience, it generally will make between $400 and $600 a month per software, and I've got 2 of them running.
Yeah.
Okay. So can you imagine what you've got coming in a month if you got 100? I mean, that's what, $60,000 a month. So I'm extremely excited about it, man. I've got Dom on board. I've got 8 of my buddies all signed up, and we're all making money.
Yeah.
Literally, I'll have text message. I'll wake up and I'll be like, bro, I just made $18 while I was sleeping last night.
That's
I'm like,
crazy.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah. I was like, get 2 and you'll make 36.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
So it's been a ton of fun. And then what you don't know about yet, and it actually launches the 18th. It's a different company. It's a different software company, but they make trading and automated robots as well. And this one is for a crypto deal. Okay. Now, this is completely different in the fact that it's 100% hands-free. Now, the software I'm currently using, it takes a little bit of management throughout the day, but honestly, no more than like literally 10 minutes out of your day.
You do some clicks.
Yeah, you click once or twice, once in the morning, and you click once or twice in the afternoon, and then you're good to go. So, but the other one, the Arbistar one, like it's extremely easy to get into. It's a $100 initial deposit, but there's no cost. So there's no initial cost, no ongoing cost, and that returns 1 to 2% every single day.
Wow.
And you can compound it weekly. So a potential at 1 and let's just say 1.25% daily, compounded weekly on a year on that initial deposit, it's $9,000. So potentially taking $115. So yeah, so ideally what I'm trying to help my whole crew do is to create income with those Hamilton and Benjamin products, the first one I was talking about, and then funnel those profits to compound it into the what's called Arbistar, the crypto one, and make a literal money machine out of this stuff. So, I mean, I just posted on my Snapchat this morning about, and I had a little clip of Arbistar, and I said, man, when I was a kid, I always wanted my own robot when I grew up, and now I get to have one, and it makes me money.
That's crazy.
Like, I always thought it'd be like scrubbing toilets or making me dinner or something.
Right.
I'll take a robot making me money.
Exactly, man. I think that, the thing, we're going to get into, like, you've kind of touched on, like, the Money Tree team and stuff, but, I think that it's really dope that, like, you're not just in this for yourself, and I think that that's, like, the beautiful thing about it is, like, you got people like Dom on to it, and then you've got, like, literally, there's probably, like, 30 people in the Money Tree team?
Yeah, there's over 40 today, actually.
Really?
So I've been bringing on a lot of people. I've actually got, I wish I could bring up and play for you, but I'll show it to you later. It's an audio. I text so much that I've now gone to put in my AirPods and just send in voice messages because it's so much easier. So I've been chatting with this guy. It's Jared. Jared Jalal is his name, and he lives in the Philippines.
Word.
And he has been talking to me, so he's getting on board. This is a worldwide thing, right? So he's coming on board with the Money team, and he was asking me all sorts of questions. And I spent maybe an hour with him going back and forth with these, voice messages. And, at the end of the night, he just was like, Brandon, I cannot thank you for being such a great leader of the Money Tree team. He's like, I thank you from the bottom of my heart because you don't know. He says, $400 to you in America is not maybe life-changing, but for me and my family in the Philippines, just one of these softwares is going to change my life. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
That's
and
crazy.
I don't know, like, I was, like, tearing up when I got that message, dude. And that's what I'm saying is, like, this phase of my life has been the most rewarding, and it's just only begun.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to take you guys with us.
Yeah, because I think that there's a lot of potential for this to just blow up. Like, I feel like it already is, but, like hopefully that nothing bad happens and like everybody gets on board with it, because then like the government will shut it down. But, you know,
yeah, there's enough skeptical people that that are like, oh, that's got to be too good to be true. Because you get that a lot. I mean, like, okay, well, that's
but I mean, like, if you're averaging like $20 a day or while you're sleeping, like, it's good money over the course of the month.
And if you can have as many of them as you want, and obviously you need to build up to it. But yeah, my goal is to have at least 6 of those producing the $400 to $600 a month, and then following that over to the crypto deal and
then are you gonna purchase like a Benjamin one too?
Yeah. So that one actually is for larger accounts, and I plan on having 6 of each at one point. So that one's maybe for a $1,500 account. But that's very, very that's almost, I can't say guaranteed winner like you would. That one, it basically doesn't lose, statistically speaking. It wins 85% of trades, and the ones it doesn't win, it places a trade in the opposite order to break out at even, and so it literally doesn't lose. So that brings in a little bit smaller percentage per month, but it's a guaranteed winner.
I feel you. That's crazy. That's crazy that like there's always somebody that's smart out there that's trying to help the world, I would say, because it's probably like some Harvard kid that made some crazy like cryptocurrency.
So the guy, the Forex one, the first one I'm talking about, the guy that invented this, he has the 93rd highest IQ in the world, like history.
That's
like
crazy.
Can you imagine me in the top 100 smartest people ever?
Oh my god! Like I can't even imagine like what his IQ like point is.
It's got to be a burden. I was like 180s.
Okay, what's it out of? 200?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't even know what mine is. So let alone like I couldn't imagine. That's really good, obviously.
And to be that smart, it's probably like a burden on him.
Because I couldn't imagine like going to get coffee with that guy. I'd just be like, he'd probably be using words, and I'd be like, oh, okay.
Like, calculated up his bill before he's even looked at the.
It's freaking nuts, man. Like I don't know, some of those smart dudes, but it's good to have those guys around though, because obviously like this guy, he's wherever he is right now, and he's making money for millions of people that are on this website and are trying to make some extra money.
And that's what's so awesome about it is it's all about giving back, because this dude obviously he was working for the second largest hedge fund in the U.S. at the time in New York. But so like he's made his money. He's like, I just wanted to give back. He's like, I retired and I was bored. So like, I can only imagine, how does that guy retire?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And he's probably not even that old either. Man, that's insane, man. That's insane.
So as far as the Money Tree team goes, moneytreeteam.com actually is where you can go to the domain, check out the software. It's even got a little demo. You input your info, like a name, phone number, or whatever. It just comes to me, so you're not going to get spammed by a bunch of people you don't know. But yeah, I encourage you guys to check it out for sure.
That's awesome, brother. Brandon, just getting into some of the other questions that I have here for you. What do you feel like is your greatest accomplishment that you've done so far in life, or with this Money Tree team, or what do you feel like it is?
Well, it's definitely been a combination of things. I would say over the last 3 or 4 years have been an extreme level of growth and maturity on my end. Where Dom and I actually met was managing a complete nutrition store over in West Des Moines. And man, that honestly was a first opportunity for me to get in even more of a mentorship role. I mean, I was a management role, but I viewed it more of a consultant, friendship role in that aspect of it. And man, I'm not kidding you. I keep in contact with almost every single one of my former employees. And they're all about your age. And so it's been able to not only just pay off in just the friend aspect, because people hit me up like, hey, what's up, bro, long time no see, whatever. But also it's been able to I've been able to reconnect with everybody and help them out, like and honestly I think that I am getting to the most rewarding part of my life, and I'm excited for you guys to experience that 10 or 15 years before I was able to.
Exactly. Well, and I think that a lot of people, they try to like chase that fulfillment of like trying to help others out, or trying to find some sort of like happiness in their life, but like that usually involves like a career, and sometimes they don't really enjoy their career other than that aspect. Like a lot of teachers, like obviously like the money isn't right, but they feel like they're being fulfilled like with their entire lives because they're helping out kids and everything
Sure.
else. But you know, like with you, it's like this is like literally a side hustle thing, and you know, one day it's going to turn into like your main thing, and you're just going to be chilling back, just relaxing on a beach somewhere, like you said earlier, that you want this to be your last winter in Iowa. So,
Southwest Florida is calling my name.
Yes, sir. That's crazy stuff, man.
I'm honestly not too far off from being full time. I would love to have this as my sole income within the next 2 or 3 months. Like legit, I'm on my way to hustle. As soon as Arvistar comes on board, like I'm going ham. I swear.
Well, I think that, you know, that raises a good point, is like, you know, some people, they want these like side hustles to like turn into their main hustle, but they're not like giving it their all at it too. So I think that, you know, sometimes you do have to take that leap of faith, and like a lot of people are scared of that. And I think that a lot of people want this idea of like job security and everything else. So you know, it gets to be a little tough when you don't really believe in yourself. So like, why is anybody else going to believe in your business or your startup or whatever you're trying to do? So
that can be something a lot of people encounter when you want to do something on your own, especially like a job scenario, because you know, if you're talking to parents about saying, hey, I want to follow whatever it is, I want to follow my dream and not do what is the status quo or what is the norm, you know, you get a lot of resistance. And all I can do is encourage you guys to keep the faith, man. Keep the dream alive and keep it in front of you. Always focus on it.
And I think that that's like the biggest key to life is, you know, literally try absolutely everything, and if something sticks and it's your passion, and just kind of run with it. You know, I think that that's the biggest thing that I've learned is, you know, I'm going to try absolutely everything, especially if it's something that I'm interested in. I want to try it, get the feel for it, and if it's like 6 months down the road, if it's something that I don't enjoy anymore, bye, and that's good, you know? So I think that, and along with that, like trying new things, it's like I meet so many good people that are still in that business or whatever the case is, and it's like, you know, like we've been talking about, that networking aspect is like 10 years down the road, if somebody that I built a relationship with and kind of kept in touch with, you know, they can hit me up later and I can just invest some money into their company or whatever they got going on, and it's like I don't even have to touch anything, I just have to fork over some money and make some money off of it. So, you know, it's a good little thing to...
Friendships are so valuable in so many ways.
Well, and I think that like a lot of people, they hear this and they're like, you know, how do I do this? But I think that it starts with you literally just have to go up to somebody and just say hi. Like, it's literally like you have to treat it like a friendship, not on like something that you're trying to make money with. You know, because that stuff can come later down the road. And it's something that, like, you know, a lot of people, that's like their number one priority is making money. But, you know, I think that if you decide to kind of flip the role a little bit and just say like, hey, I'm just trying to make genuine friendships, then that can build into something very, very special too. So
that's one thing that's helped me at least open people's minds to the Money Tree team side of things, is, you know, someone I haven't talked to, and I've done this a lot, Nico, is I've called somebody I haven't talked to in a year, and I'd be like, I'll even, for the whole first conversation, the whole time, I won't even bring up what my initial idea was to talk to them about. I'll just call you up and just, how's the wife? You know, how are the kids doing? You know, that kind of thing. How's school? Whatever it is, you know, and just have a conversation with them. And then next time I talk to them the next day or something, I'll be like, hey bro, nice chat. I'll text them. I'll say, hey, nice chatting with you. I love catching up with you. Glad to hear everything's doing great. Also, just want to let you know about this, ... Whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's Cutco knives or what.
Exactly. And I think that that's something that I learned too, like selling products and everything. It's like, you know, make it very, very genuine. And if somebody like genuinely asks you, like, what is it that you're doing? Like, why are you giving me a call? Whatever. It's like, funny that you asked. I have this going on. I wanted to see if like you're interested in it. So, you know, I think that if you really like have a genuine conversation with somebody, they can kind of just pick up that you're trying to get something from them, but it's like in a good way though, because like you genuinely care about how they're doing, and everything else, instead of like just calling them up and saying like getting right to the point.
Dude, I see it so many times, and it happens to me. I get prospected all the time by network marketers.
Absolutely.
And I don't have a thing against network marketing because I love the structure. I love the recurring income aspect of it. I had just personally never found a product that inspired me enough to like want to try and sell you on it.
Yeah.
But in this aspect, if I can help sell you a money tree that you can cultivate, I mean, it takes a little bit of effort to keep a money tree alive and producing, but then you can keep reaping profits off of that forever or for as long time.
Exactly.
And so, that's how I'm looking at it.
It's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. Brandon, getting into some of the other questions that I have for you, brother. Who or what is your inspiration to do what you do, just in general in life?
Interesting question.
Yeah,
because I'm a single guy, no kids. I'm not even dating anybody right now. I'm just on my money grind, to be honest with you. Church has been always a big background of mine. Grew up going to a Christian church, and I still go every Sunday to Hope off of Jordan Creek. Love that place. Highly recommend the service if you have never been to that. But that's absolutely one of my biggest motivations in life. Like, I've been on a ton of missions trips in the past. Haiti was one of my most life-changing trips ever. We went when it was 1 year after their major earthquake, and it looked like it had happened the day before. And people in the midst of such despair and destruction were the happiest people I've ever met in my life. And it just broke me, dude. Like, to see people with that much hope in a place where I saw none, and it all had to do with their view on religion, I think, and God. So that's something that keeps me going every day.
Yeah, well, and I think that it's all about that perspective thing. Just looking at life a little bit differently, because I think that there's a lot of people that could be. There's a lot of like rich dudes that I see online that they want to like sell everything that they have and like live out of a van, just because like they want, like they feel like they could have anything that they want to in life, but they want to like know what it's like to just live life. And I think that it's all about that perspective thing, because there's people like you said, like that we're in Haiti that they don't have literally anything, don't even have like a roof over their heads, and they're just as happy as can be. And I think that happiness is like something that everybody can chase, but it's like I feel like they've found it and they don't even have anything,
dude.
And I think that that's the difference between like people in America versus people in like a lot of other countries. We're all focused on these material possessions to make us seem successful or whatever, and it's kind of like we're all just kind of showing off to our friends and stuff to like make us seem successful.
Social media is responsible for that.
And it's a weird thing, man. And I don't really like how things are right now, but it's like, I try to separate myself from that. So,
dude, you're so smart, because all I can add to that, because you're 100% right, all I can add to that is whatever you think is going to make you happy in life probably isn't, and you're going to still feeling left empty at some point. So don't put too much all of your eggs into one basket in any part of your life, because not any one portion of it brings you all the happiness.
Absolutely, brother, absolutely. Getting into some of the other closing questions here for you. Tell me about some of the future plans that you have. Like, we've kind of gone over a little bit of it. Like, what are the future plans that you got?
All right, so goal for 2019, definitely by midsummer to be able to be mobile income coming in on my damn phone. So
Absolutely.
ATM on my phone.
Absolutely.
In 6 months. And ideally for the next 12 months following that, I just want to kind of Airbnb it around the U.S.
Absolutely.
So I'll probably drive around, but I want to stay in like a new Airbnb like every couple of weeks.
That's awesome.
So that's going to be my main goal. Trip out of the country to Thailand is got to be done by the end of the year.
Word.
So there's three islands in the Gulf of Thailand called Koh Tao, Koh Samui, and Koh Phangan.
Okay.
And Koh Phangan is famous for having a full moon party, and I have to experience this once.
Wow.
So full moon every month, they have a big party on the beach. Like, literally, they've got like 30,000 people on this little teeny tiny little beach, and it's just amazing. So go to YouTube and look up full moon party.
Okay.
Yeah, and you'll see.
Dope. That's something that I got to write down. That sounds interesting.
I'd love to have you along the trip, no doubt, dude.
Brother, absolutely.
So that I do. Don't get me wrong. I definitely have some of my own personal goals on top of helping everybody. Yeah. But I want to help you young guys succeed this year. That is definitely. I'm going to be working my ass off, dude. Like yesterday, so full time right now. I've got my real estate license, but on the side, I do crime scene cleanup stuff too. Buddy of mine owns a crime scene cleanup company, and we do some death cleanups. So yesterday I was in Marion, 2.5 hours away, and I had a 16-hour day cleaning up after a death. So I came home, got home at 11 o'clock, hopped on my computer, and I had guys, like, it wasn't in the Philippines, but it was somewhere over there, a guy named Sumit was his name, and he wanted to chat because he was just getting up over there. And so I spent about 30 minutes with him when I really didn't want to. But, man, I just can't get that feeling of wanting to help people out.
Yeah, well, and I think that, it's good to have genuine people like yourself around because, you do genuinely care about everybody and, like, you sacrifice so much time for everybody else. And I think that it's good that you're in 2019. You want to focus on yourself, but also like have that giving back like sense of it. But I think that it's well deserved for you to see the world and experience everything too.
Yeah,
that's really dope.
I will say that I am putting a lot of effort into myself so I can be better for others.
Absolutely,
that's it.
That's a beautiful message. Man. Brandon, one of the closing questions I have for you too, what is one thing that you have to do in life? So like when it's all said and done and you're sitting on your deathbed, what is that one thing that you have to say that you've been able to do?
Bro, I've spent 37 years trying to answer that question. I don't know that there is one thing for me that I need done. I think every day as I grow, it changes. Because what yesterday I thought was going to be so important to me today doesn't feel like that's going to be important to me tomorrow. So I don't know that I have a clear answer for that other than I want to be the best friend and family member that I can be.
Absolutely. Well, and I can tell, like, just by the conversation that we've had today, like, that you're very into just caring about others, caring about family members. I feel like you're very, like, a people-driven person as well, and like you value all the relationships that you've established throughout your life. And I think there's not a lot of people that are like that, and I tip my hat off to you because that's a beautiful thing.
It's taken some time. I was not always like this, and I think maybe because I wasn't like this is because why I want to be like this now.
Yeah.
So, things change, man, for sure.
Absolutely, brother. Last question, something that I ask everybody on the podcast that comes on here. So I want you to imagine that I have a copy of the New York Times written right here, okay? It's written from 10 years from now. And there's a cover page, and it's a picture of you, and then there's an article written about you.
Yeah.
What is this a picture of, and what is written in this article?
Oh, it's got to be something about me doing something cool for like I don't know if third world countries the right, but just doing something for something overseas. I don't know whether that's donating the money for an orphanage or freshwater wells for people in Africa that don't have freshwater access close. Something cool like that. Like I want to do something big, and I want to be in charge of it.
That's beautiful.
I want to be in charge of making that happen.
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. Brandon, where can everybody find you on social media, or if you need to plug anything?
I know, honestly, Facebook, I'm all over, but Snapchat is probably one I'm most active on. Mm-hmm. So hit me up, The Roth Father, ROTH, The Roth Father. You can look me up there and see me doing all sorts of weird stuff.
Absolutely. Brandon, appreciate you, brother.
Dude,
thank you
so
for
much.
sacrificing your day with me today. Hope that drive goes well for you later today. But, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today's episode. I'm glad you guys got to sit down and with me and Brandon and just listen to our little chat. Hopefully you guys got some good takeaways. And if you guys are trying to make a little bit of extra money and you guys got some extra money to invest, definitely contact Brandon or myself and I can put you in the right direction. That's really it, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in. My name is Neek Robinson. This is Brandon Roth. We're out of here. Another episode of the Truth Podcast. Peace.